When growing up as a kid here in Indiana and being part of the 4-H, the state fair was the epitome of all competition. My name is Mary Schwartz. I am from Marion County, and I have participated for 50 years at the Indiana State Fair. I personally favor the crewel embroidery probably of the whole bunch. I like the feel of the wool. I was a sheep producer at one time, my family was, and so therefore I'm going to continue to support the sheep people. People, probably could spot my work because of the types of subjects that I use and what I embroider. I do like a lot of flowers. You will see a lot of my materials with a lot of flowers and a lot of color. Embroidery was kind of an accident. My mother was kind of worried I was not showing interest in so-called womanly things, and so she told me I could not show my sheep unless I learned how to do something that was more feminine. So she started me out on a stamped cross-stitch towel, and I did that, and then I gradually progressed as the years went by. Her area was crochet and knitting, and crocheting lace tablecloths of the Victorian style. And she would compete here at the fair, and probably she competed for about 10 to 12 years. She's good. She's real good. She was more of a stickler for fine detail. I think I'm bad, but she was tougher than I was. These are my first or oldest ones that I have here of crewel embroidery that I have done competitively. I probably did these about 40 some years ago. I would say late 60s, early 70s. The stitches on them are very basic, but I like the design on it. Generally, I got more and more elaborate as time went on, a little bit more complicated because I knew that's where the competition was. You had to be that way. So my earlier pieces are not anywhere near the size nor complexity as these guys are. I'm looking for design. I'm looking for colors. I'm looking for something very unique. I waited 20 some years to get a grand champion. I'd never gotten a grand champion here. I was always the runner-up, always the bridesmaid, but never the winner. And then that one year in 1987, I got 2 champions. So that was a real stick-out moment for me then. You have good years and you have bad years, so it depends upon who's there up against you that particular year. We've had people come in and get 2, 3 championships in one year and be very so blessed. The next year they didn't place anything. You have to realize over the years you're not going to win every year. Someone's going to beat you, and nobody is guaranteed any placings. Just like life. I am a 6th generation of teachers in my family. I've been at the same school system for 43 years. I teach anatomy, physiology, botany, zoology, and biology. Free time is a sacred commodity in my profession because usually we take our work home with us at night. Any time that I can work on something besides schoolwork, I appreciate it. I have a lot of kids who are in 4-H at our school, and anything with state fair is very important to them. I try to get some of them to show in this building. I've been successful. We've had some of my students come in here and show. They get very excited about it. It's a culmination of a year-long spent on this particular project. I can see in their eyes the same thing probably was in my eyes when I was in their position too. You've come a long way. You got to represent your county. I'm waiting for the student who comes in that I've had in class that turns around and beats me in competition. That's scary. Because I'm probably sure there's probably some out there who could do the same thing. I try to do some needlework before I go to bed because it relaxes me. It's something to do with my hands rather than totally working with your mind. I'm very happy with the television set on and my needlework in front of me, and I'm working there and I'm oblivious to everything else that's happening in the world. There's not a whole lot of people who do crewel embroidery anymore. Or if they are, I really haven't seen a whole lot of them. One of my competitors, she told me right flat out she could spot a piece of my work without ever seeing the name tag. Embroiderers have distinctive stitches they do. They have patterns they like, and their stitches are their signature and the way they do it. And so you can usually spot somebody that you've competed against for many years by that. As I've gotten older, I've learned to do variations of the stitches they ask. I like the shorter stitches that stays flat. And so this is taking me a lot longer doing that, but I feel that it's going to stay in place. I don't want to see a piece that's going to sag or separate, and that's the key. A good embroiderer will cover all their holes, cover everything. You can't see the original canvas, you can't see the original fabric behind it. That's a sign of a good embroidery piece. So I try to adhere to that very carefully. It costs you championships if you don't. I've met a lot of friends in here. A lot of us have been associated with this building for years and years and years. And so several years ago, and I came in as a worker, I wanted to see what it was like on the other side. Eventually, the next year, they asked me if I would like to become coordinator of the antique department because the person that was there was leaving. We have a short period of time to get over 2,000 exhibits up and running. We're exhausted, but we get it done. The fact is, I would encourage anybody out there that if they would like to come and be part of the Indiana State Fair, we're more welcome to have you. It is really an honor to be recognized for the state, and contributing to the success of the State Fair means a lot. And you stop and think about how many exhibitors are on this campus at one time to be singled out and saying, we recognize you for your years of servitude to us. So it's a big thing.